VanCam. This is VanCam you waited for. Oh, is that right, Steve? Well, your mum's armpits are that hairy, it looks like she's got Fellaini and Fellaini's brother in a headlock. It's that time of the week when I'm sat in the seat. I've got big muscles, I've got big feet. I'm about to tell y'all who I am. My name's Kev Ashford and this is VanCam. Woo! Alright lads, settle down. Where the fuck did that lot come from? Coming up in this week's show, Alexis Sanchez signs for Man United. Piss off, the lawyer! Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United. Other than talking about that amazing signing, we will also be doing the usual shit, which means that we take a look at what Fellaini's been at in Fellaini Watch. One's going to be glancing over, looking at the hair. Look at the state of that tit. We will also do Wanker of the Week. Louis Van Gaal's army. Well, not the army. And as always, we will take a look at your comments from last week. I hope you are all right. Finally got them words out in the one sentence. Love it, man, love it. Welcome to all the new subscribers. There's loads and loads getting involved in this VanCam nonsense. Thank you very, very much. But obviously the big news is that Alexis Sanchez will be a Red. And who would have thought this a few weeks ago? I tell you, did my mate Disco Dave go back through the videos? He was all over that like a rash. He said that Sanchez would come to United and the majority of people, including me, laughed at him, eh? But it does seem that we have secured the services of a world-class player, and don't let any knobhead tell you any different, because a week ago when Man City were in the driving seat for him, we're gonna sign him, we don't want to ask about the money, we'll pay this, we'll pay that. They were gonna pay 60 million only what, about 4 months ago or so? They were gonna pay 60 million for him. So now we get him, we're basically gonna exchange Mkhitaryan or stump up the fee, and it does not matter what we're paying him a week. Who gives a shit? I tell you who gives a shit. It's bitter City fans who have now gone full swing and decided that Sanchez isn't worth the money and they wouldn't pay it. The hypocrisy of that is absolutely hilarious. Coming from a club. Now we've got fans that are actually saying, City fans, no, Sanchez, it's too much money a week and all that. We're talking about a player that's worth about 100 million and we're getting him for 30, 35 million. So build the wages in. City are backed away from this. I'll tell you why, because the minute United got involved in it, Sanchez has thought, I'm going to United. I'm going to get first team football. I'm not guaranteed that City. I can go to United, play in front of a full stadium every week. And the hypocrisy of it is these City fans that are going on about the money. Oh, it's a bit expensive. When's that ever bothered you? All the money you've frittered away signing shit players that you thought were going to make you better and they haven't. And these same bellends are the ones that when Sheikh Mansour took over at City were down at the Etihad with tea towels wrapped round their head, fake money, you know, going on. Noel Gallagher, he's a dickhead. He was on going, oh, every time United fans fill up the car, you know, the oil money, every time they fill up the car, you know, we're going to buy Kaká. You didn't sign Kaká. You signed Craig Bellamy instead. Sanchez is a top signing, and the beauty of it is that he can play in the Champions League. The other flip side of it, it's even better. There's no negatives. Like I say, I don't give a shit about the money. You know, I'm not paying his wages. Yeah, in theory, ticket prices and that go towards it. United are a money machine. The Glazers, I've just spat then. That's because I'm getting angry. It's when I say the word Glazers. The Glazers have taken, what, nearly £1 billion or something out in Man United. They're a cash cow to them, and they will keep on milking it and keep on milking it. So I could not give a shit about the money. The money is nothing, it's irrelevant. As long as Alexis Sanchez does the business on the pitch for Man United, that's all I'm asked about. And this is a no-brainer. This is a Premier League proven player, a proven goal scorer. He assists, he's regularly man of the match. He's a game changer. And we have secured the services of him. I'm absolutely buzzing. And like I say, all this negativity from knobhead rival fans. You got Arsenal fans. They're always the first out with them spreadsheets, breaking it down. He's going to earn £2,000 a minute and all that. Not asked. The be-all and end of it is that we have signed Alexis Sanchez. And like I say, who would have thought that a week ago? United are back in business. We're flexing the financial muscle. That's what we're doing, and who cares? Man United are a business, yeah, whatever. They make their own money, and we are investing it in somebody that is going to make our football team better. And that's what it's all about. I'm sorry to go on and rant, but let's just crack on with the show anyway. Burnley coming up and all that. First, you can tell I'm happy. Kev is happy. Yeah. Anyway, first up, we will now take a look at what the bushy-haired bastard Marouane Fellaini has been up to this week in a thing that we call Fellaini Watch. You might be quite surprised. There was a story in the press this week about, well, do you know what? I'll let Fellaini Watch tell you all about it.
McTominay has it for United.
It's in!
Looking for Fellaini!
Oh, Fellaini, you useless tit! Yes, this is Fellaini Watch. It's the part of the show where we look at what the bushy-haired legend has been at. And this week, Patrice Evra, an ex-Man United legend, absolutely loved him when he was at United. But in this social media day, he is one of the footballers that really inspires me. I love everything that he posts. So imagine, to my surprise this week, when Patrice Evra actually started doing his own Fellaini Watch segment. Check this shit out!
Baby, I'm trying to be the Marouane Fellaini, but the sexy one. Sorry, Marouane. Baby!
Yes, Patrice! How good is that? The actual quote that he says in that video was, I'm trying to be the Marouane Fellaini, but the sexy one. So he's almost having a dig at him as well and saying, you're a right ugly twat. Which he is, Fellaini. And I mean, come on. Who would look twice at this man? It's only because he's loaded. And this is bringing me perfectly in to the next little bit of Fellaini Watch. Now, look at somebody like Peter Crouch, right? If Peter Crouch was, let's say, for argument's sake, a plumber, yeah? And he walks into a bar. Are you telling me that Abby Clancy would be like glancing over going, oh, look at this big freak, well, in a thingy accent, you know, look at this big freak. I'm going to go over. Yeah, I'll marry him and he'll have my children. No, it doesn't happen like that. And this is where ugly blokes with money get fit birds. And this brings me into the next one. Imagine when I seen this headline. Manchester United star Marouane Fellaini spotted on intimate date with stunning, yes, stunning, ex-Playboy model Victoria Bonya. I could not believe it, man. There's a picture of him having something to eat. And check her out. Oh! Smoking? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. How has he managed to pull this off? Because he's got a shitload of money. That is what I'm talking about. I mean, this is a bird who's, you know, she's been with Hugh Hefner and all that, God rest his soul. And now she's moving on to Fellaini. These people, they're just chasing the money. It's definitely nothing about looks. How could you go out with Fellaini? Everyone's going to be glancing over, looking at the hair. Look at the state of that tit. But, I mean, Victoria Bonya is not a bad bit of gear at all, and Fellaini is punching well above his weight. That's what I'm talking about. John Jekyll, or whatever he's called, Jake Lick, he has been trying to contact Marouane Fellaini on Twitter, and he keeps copying me in. He wants Marouane to get in touch and get him on VanCam. There's a petition's been started. The ball is rolling. Can we get the bushy-haired dickhead in this seat for a one-to-one? And you know, like I said last week, I've done the Kung Fu course. It was an intense 6-week course, and I'm sure that with this left hand I could just cut through that throat of his like a knife through butter. That's Fellaini watch. That was Fellaini watch. Let me know what you think of that. You can get commenting. Loads of people do. Over 200 comments last week. Unbelievable, man. So just do the usual shit you always do on VanCam and get them comments in. Let me know what you thought of the Fellaini watch segment. Next up, we do this every week. We look at basically who's been the biggest wanker of the week. There can only be one, but I've compiled a top 5 as always. So let's just roll straight into that shit and see who is claiming the award this week of Wanker of the Week. Run this shit! Wanker of the Week. Gotta check the doors a lot, man. I'm in Liverpool. Safety first. Right, this is Wanker of the Week. This is where we separate normality from wankers. We put it into a top 5 this week. There is going to be a top 5. Coming in straight at number 5 is Manchester United's Marcus Rojo. Don't know why I said it like that. But basically on United's recent trip to Dubai, warm weather training, what is all that about? Rojo was spotted on the aeroplane wearing a pair of slippers, tartan slippers, £675. Football is really dead to me. He looks an absolute twat in them. 675 quid for a pair of bastard slippers. Mine were from Primani, man. I've got Homer Simpson ones, £2. They've lasted me ages, man. Coming in at number 4 is the Twitter account of BR Football, who thought they were absolutely hilarious to knock up a picture of Alexis Sanchez. One with, well, he's got his dogs with him. On the left hand side we have the City one, basically saying he's chose money over trophies. Down with that sort of thing. Number 3 is the Manchester Evening News, basically because this happens every season, and yes, we're being linked with Cristiano Ronaldo. It happens every year. Basically, it's when Ronaldo is after a new contract, they'll say, oh, would you like to go to United? And he always says, I love Manchester, I'd love to go back there, you know, had a great time, never rules it out. But he'll get a new contract at Madrid, and that will be it. He will not come to Manchester United. Next up, coming in at number 2, it's my old mate, it's Louis van Gaal's army. Well, not the army, it's Louis van Gaal. Basically, he's out again. I told you this, there'll be loads of stories coming out. He's on the attack again, and he said that Manchester United were mean to give him the sack. He also said, the former players of United started to have a go, saying that I was giving the fans boring football. Bit of shit, that accent. That's because you were giving us boring football, you absolute deluded dickhead. And that's why you've made it into number 2. Maybe you should have been number 1. I said it before. Under you, Van Gaal, players were falling asleep on the pitch. Fans were falling asleep in the crowd. It was boring shit, and that's why you got the bullet. Now, number 1 is an absolute corker. It comes from referee Tony Chaperon. This come from a game against Paris Saint-Germain. Basically, I'll just play the clip first because it is unbelievable.
Well, he's chipped the referee. That's an inadvertent coming together there, and the referee then stabbed out and put it him.
Well, that's quite incredible. That's accidental. I don't think there's any intent at all from Carlos. But then the referee seems to strike out at him.
Yeah, so basically the referee's tried to cut across the player. Accidentally, the player has tripped him. And then the referee has tried to aim a kick at him, you know, because he's pissed off that he's been tripped up. He can't do that. But to add insult to injury, he then sends off the player. Head's gone, man. His head has gone, and that is why he's Wanker of the Week. Reports have come out that he's actually been now not sacked, but he's definitely going to be in the shit because it was accidental, and you can't then go, Yeah, you're getting sent off, mate, for making me look a dick and tripping me up. It was accidental, and Mr. Tony Chaperon, you get Wanker of the Week. It's fully deserved. A piece of comedy genius. This will be back next week. Wanker of the Week. That was Wanker of the Week. Let me know if you think that that was well deserved. Sometimes people get in there and say, Kev, do you know, I don't think you got that right. Not many people do, because it's not often that I'm wrong. Anyway, believe it or not, I've just heard on the radio breaking news that Chelsea are in for Peter Crouch. It's not a joke either. Antonio Conte has clearly been on the crack pipe. Oh, the gift that keeps on giving. They must want him for his robotics or something. Peter Crouch. Anyway, there's only one way to end the show, and that's a look back at the comments from last week in a little thing that we simply call Your Comments. Yay! This is the part of the show where we finish off with your comments. It's time for you shower of wankers to have your say. It could be on anything. Literally, do you know what I mean? If you've got a new surround sound system, you plugged it in and the rear right speaker ain't working, Kev is your man. Right, the con man dropped in on the old YouTube comments and said, I've been dropping the VanCam name on other United channels, so reckon you owe me some M&S vouchers for the new subscribers, Kev. Or am I being a cheeky... ... cheeky bastard? Told you once before, man. Marks and Spencer's vouchers, any kind of vouchers, are not handed out for referring a friend. It's basically a pact that me and the viewers have. You basically just go out and promote VanCam, and I sit here on my ass doing bugger all. Viking Red, the man who has his name in big capital letters, said, Kev, do you think if we get Sanchez, we have, mate, we could win the Champions League this year? Could this be another RVP omen for Arsenal? What I will say on this, Sunshine, I think the signing of Sanchez is massive. And the fact that he can actually play in the Champions League is massive. I really do think Mourinho is going to put all his eggs in the Champions League basket. I think he's going all out for it, like we did last year with the Europa League. And you wouldn't bet against United doing it. He's won it with Porto, Inter Milan, who weren't even really that great when they won the treble that year. But Mourinho, we're talking over 2 legs here. He knows how to get results in 2-legged games, yeah? What I'm talking about. And imagine how much that would piss City off. City win the league and we win the Champions League. I think that would be a bigger achievement for Mourinho to win the Champions League this season with United than Pep Guardiola to win the Premier League with Man City. And I'm not being bitter. I haven't got red tinted specs on. David Conreen, the Wivenshaw waiver. The Wivenshaw Raver, the Wivenshaw Raver, yes. He said, I can clearly see you've been trained by Mr. Miyagi, Kevin's son. And he knew better than to fuck you about painting his fence and his wax on, wax off shit, as he knew a shift roundhouse kick would have been dished out for doing his decking for free of charge. The cheeky bastard. That is right, that Mr. Miyagi had Danielson wrapped around his little finger. Go outside and paint the fence. What the fuck's all that got to do with karate? Why-ya! Cheeky bastard. Lee Knox said, sometimes, and this is like the comment of the week, this. I love this. Wait for it, wait. Sometimes amidst the boredom and apathy, late at night, going by random videos to kill the hours, you stumble upon what can only be described as gems. This man has the energy of a horny priest on drugs, and I like it. Dude, keep it up. Thanks very much, Lee. This is obviously somebody who stays up at night, going in that, that wormhole of YouTube videos, where you get, recommended for you. Oh, what's the next video? And then next minute, Lee has discovered VanCam and basically it's the best thing in his life now. Probably not. But I do like that line. A horny priest on drugs. I'm going to have to put that in my bio. Bruce McIntosh, he's the main man, said, who's your favourite present United player, Kev? I hope to hear your answer on next week's episode. My favourite current Man United player is Juan Mata. I love everything about him. In a non-sexual way, he's alright looking. Fantastic footballer. When he come to United, everyone feared. Mourinho got rid of him at Chelsea. They're going to get rid of him. You know, he'll get rid of him again. He'll be the first out the door. He's not. He never moans. He gives a percentage of his wages to charity. He's trying to get other footballers to do it. He's bought into the United way. You know, he's looked up the history, very much like Patrice ever did. And I think he's totally in love with United. And I love him because he loves United. And he always gives his all. He can score free kicks. He scores goals. Yeah. Ali J, back with a lookalike. Sorry, Kev, but after a brief hiatus, I'm bringing back the lookalikes. Cheeky bastard! Who is this big-eared, ugly twat? Oh, so that's what you're trying to say about Kev, are you? Viking Red again. Said, Kev, you should be on EastEnders as Danny Dyer's long-lost brother. Hope I have earned the cheeky bastard. Cheeky bastard! Danny Dyer's brother. Do I look like the kind of bellend that's going to be doing Football Factory or whatever, the real Football Factories? No. So here we go then. John J. Click come in and said on an email, your spitting image. Kev, here's your spitting image. Same quiff in the hair as in left photo and same scruff as in right. Bastard! Pee-wee bastard Herman! Is this what we've come to? Pee-wee Herman, eh? That's total bollocks, that. Absolute bollocks. And as always, we finish on a low note because you have proper pissed on my chips, you cheeky bastard. Right, that's the end of the show. All that's left for me to say is that we are playing Burnley this weekend. And basically watch last week's video because everything I said about Stoke, it just goes the same thing with Burnley. They've all got 6 fingers on one hand. They're all a bunch of shithouses. And it's going to be a tough game. It always is at Turf Moor. But I think United can win it. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and make sure you comment. I've probably said that a few times in the video, but commenting is the only way you're going to get your comment read out each week. Also, the United Stand podcast, if you want to listen to that, there is a link in the description. Paul runs that. Paul is sound as a pound, so make sure you get onto that if you like listening to podcasts. The Facebook page for VanCam is at Kevin Ash. No, it's not. It's at Kev's VanCam. Get on that, drop a like, do whatever the hell you want. And etteemails, loads of emails. This is becoming a full-time job getting through it all. The Gmail address is kevinashford7@gmail.com. So do that, and the rest of the shit is in the top left-hand corner. That's Instagram, where I post 50 selfies a day. I don't, because I'm not a dickhead. And Twitter. Twitter's probably the best. I enjoy Twitter. I had a little sabbatical recently, but I am back, giving it out. Embroiled in a bit of a debate, would we call it, with a few scousers recently. Shower of knobheads, total knobheads, really get me going. Ha! Anyway, that's the end of the show. Make sure you have a good weekend. Don't do anything that I wouldn't, which basically means go out there and have an absolute fantastic time. I'll be back next week. VanCam always comes out Friday night. It's what Fridays are all about. I tell you. All that's left for me to do is to shout for Man United this weekend. I've got the hard hat on. It's for health and safety reasons. It's got to be done. Come on, United! Let's do these 7-fingered freaks from Burnley! Bastards! Are you ready? Are you ready for love? Yes, I am.